Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I'm here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And this is kind of a coda to the Aquaman 2 story. The headlines are screaming today that it was beaten by The Color Purple. The Color Purple did $18 million on Christmas Day, which is almost a record. It's like the second best opening ever for Christmas Day.
I mean, of all the movies that I thought would beat Aquaman, The Color Purple was not it.
This was not, I forgot that The Color Purple was the thing. I forgot they were making a musical of it. It's got, Fantasia from America's Got Talent or whatever. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, it's like, this is crazy. Now, I know musicals do really well at Christmas because The Greatest Showman came out. Cats came out. Greatest Showman did better than Cats, but...
Cats was awful.
Cats was awful. But one day it made $18 million Christmas Day, which is almost twice what Aquaman did on Christmas Day. However, to be fair, Aquaman is going to win the weekend, but still came in way under projections. 4 days, 38 million. They were expecting 45, 50 million.
Well, right, but like The Color Purple in like 2 days did like 25 million.
Yeah, it's going to beat Aquaman overall.
And that's, absolutely. I mean, wow.
That is some sass. This is like,
I'm just like,
they're all looking at Amber Heard like, what'd you say about Johnny? What'd you say? So anyway, let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, get woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Go out to shopclownfish.com if you have not picked up a copy of Crimson Wren or previously on Clownfish TV. We do have some of those books in stock. Yet they're ready to go. They're printed. They're here. Kiki's been shipping them for a while. She's tired, but she will ship your book to you.
I am shipping books, yes.
You have 18 days. 18 days until we close this one out again. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. I hope you guys had a good holiday.
Yes.
Well, they had a good holiday at whatever studio brought this movie out, right? I mean, holy heck. So $18 million on Christmas Day from only 3,100 theaters.
Yeah, so they had way fewer theaters too.
Yeah, Aquaman was in, I think we'll go down here. I think they were in 3,700 theaters. Now, it's weird because I did not expect this. The record holder, the biggest Christmas Day ever was 2009 Sherlock Holmes. That'd be the Robert Downey Jr. one, which I forgot existed. And there's a sequel, which I also forgot existed. But apparently it did like 24 million, not adjusted for inflation.
I actually like those movies, but that's just me.
They weren't terrible.
I like the Sherlock Holmes BBC show too. But
I think that's kind of what happened. I think it kind of got overshadowed by the BBC show that they just kind of abandoned. Like they never really finished it, did they? They're just like, yeah, we're just not doing it anymore. We're done. We're out.
Pretty much.
We're gonna do more Doctor Who, but we're totally done with.
Well, I think they kind of wrapped it up. They kind of left it where they could wrap it up. I wish they would have done more, but then the actors were off doing other things. Now they're all doing movies and they're all in the MCU. So
yeah. So they go on to talk about how The Color Purple trounced Aquaman 2. They said Aquaman 2. Now this is the headline. Like it destroyed Aquaman 2. Well, kind of. Yes, on Christmas Day. On Christmas Day it did. And I do think overall, I think domestic.
It will too. It probably did the day after Christmas too.
And then we got New Year's coming up too. I think Aquaman's going to be pretty much done by New Year's. I think The Color Purple is one of those movies that people are probably going to go see for weeks.
Has Aquaman even hit the 100 million?
No, I don't think it has yet. Aquaman 2 is the overall winner for the long Christmas weekend with a 4-day opening of 38 million. That's still less than they were.
Well, obviously
expecting.
It didn't hit 100 million. It's 38 million. Okay, I didn't know with the overseas if it did.
Okay, overseas it did 80 million. So
yeah, it went over.
But it's a very expensive.
Most of it came from China.
From China.
Okay, so the Marvels failed in China. But the lot of the money from the overseas market came from China. So China likes Jason Momoa and they like Johnny Depp.
They like attractive, well-built male actors. Not that I'm attracted to Jason Momoa or Johnny Depp.
Well, it was funny though because remember the Chinese people were so mad, like when they were doing Shang-Chi, they're like, "Why the hell do we get such an ugly
Why do we get ugly people in our movies? Be like good looking." Well, I guess he doesn't. Momoa, from what I heard, he doesn't take his shirt off in this one, so that might hurt the box office because you got to make those pecs jiggle a little bit, right? Anyway, yeah, Aquaman, I thought this is weird because Aquaman didn't do gangbusters here in the States. It did 67 million during Christmas weekend again, but overseas it did a ridiculous amount of money. It did like $1 billion total. Well, let's take their word for it. It did $1 billion total. But
for it.
Yeah, they are pointing out that it came in behind the Marvels, which was also a massive disappointment.
Wow, God,
and
this is bad.
Yeah, Wonka. This is the second weekend for Wonka, and Wonka did almost $30 million over 4 days too.
Yeah, but it's only hit 85.9 million domestic. People just are not going to the movie theaters anymore.
No. Well, why should they? You know, I mean, we don't have a lot of event movies anymore. We were kind of trained not to go to the theater during the pandemic. And anymore, it's only like 2 or 3 months until a movie hits streaming, or you can buy it on Vudu or something. So why bother? I mean, for as much as you pay to buy the movie digitally, and you can watch as many times as you want to, that's as much as it would cost for like 2 tickets to the theater. And if you got to take a family, you're talking $100 easy to, you know, popcorn and drinks and gas and babysitter and, you know, all that. Yeah, it's cheaper just to pay the $20-25 and just buy it on digital when it comes out.
I mean, me personally, I've always been one that I prefer to watch it at home just because I just don't like going out that much for that kind of stuff. I never have. But, you know, people in general, the theaters were always like, you know, it was always crazy busy. I mean, apparently Christmas has been a hard sell for a while now because, you know, the next closest one was from how many years ago? And it wasn't that great. But just an overall, like, you know, people aren't going. And what they are going to see are things like Barbie and the Super Mario Brothers and Oppenheimer. They're not going to see
The Color
Aquaman.
Purple.
Apparently Color Purple more than
Color
Aquaman.
Purple.
I mean, holy crap.
So they're talking about Migration, which I didn't even realize was Illumination. It looks like a very generic animal movie.
Is.
But it only did 17 million over the 4-day weekend. But they're like, well, Disney was skewered when Wish only did 32 million over the same period. The difference is Disney built Wish up to be like the biggest thing ever. This is going to be their big 100th, you know, anniversary celebration movie. And it was, you know, Return to Princesses. And it was like, this was like a big deal. And whereas Migration, I'm like, oh, I forgot that even existed.
I didn't even think they really advertised that much. I didn't see advertisements for it until like the last week or so.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, it's just a funny duck movie. Like, who cares? You know, they're already probably like, hey, we made so much money off of Mario. We don't
The Migration movie is like what reminds me of back in the day when movies just come out direct to VHS or DVD. That's what Migration reminds me
Yeah,
of.
like all those like, well, okay, so we did the unboxing with a bunch of videos that Mr. Milo sent, and in that box of videos, lots of animation, some of it very good, and some of it was like, okay, this is like knockoff whatever movie, you know, knockoff Kung Fu Panda, knockoff. That's what Migration looked like to me. It looked like, okay, this is like a knockoff of a DreamWorks movie or a knockoff Disney movie or something. Then they'll do a knockoff of Migration. It'll just be called like, you know, Duck Friends or some crap. I don't know. Anyway, there we go, guys. More people are choosing to go see The Color Purple than Aquaman, which says, I don't know what that says.
I'm kind of curious to see how this is going to be. Okay, because now the Color Purple came out Christmas Day. Aquaman had like a couple days head start on it.
Yeah.
I really kind of want to see what this is like in a week.
Oh, I think The Color Purple, these musicals like this, and this happened with The Greatest Showman too. They have legs. They'll go for weeks because early January, there's nothing. So people are like, hey, let's go see that musical thing again. You know, let's go see it New Year's, or I couldn't go on Christmas, so we'll go on New Year's to go see it. But yeah, there we go. That's pretty telling of where things are at right now, right? So we're gonna wrap this up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. We'll talk later.
Bye.